This is the BAK Revolver X2 Hard Rolling cover fitting your 2019 Ranger. Now, this one's designed for the 6-foot bed. It's also available in a 5-foot bed. It features aluminum construction. It's designed to be rolled up with one hand, which makes it very, very easy to use. Everything needed for installation is included, especially these rails. Now, these are their exclusive automatic rotational locking rails. What these are going to do is when you roll out the cover, it's going to keep it secure the entire length of the bed. So let's get started with the installation. For this installation, with a 3/8 ratchet, 1/2-inch socket, 9/16 socket, Phillips head screwdriver, and a tape measure. All right, to begin the installation, the first thing we're going to install is this bulkhead piece. This is going to go in the very, very front of the bed underneath the window. The first thing we're going to do, take the provided seal, put it on here, and then trim it. And don't forget to trim out these holes. Now we're going to mount it to the bed. You want to grab the hardware. The way this works, this will thread into here, and the back is threaded, and as you tighten it, this will actually sandwich up and hold it in place. And now the seal's on. Put these caps in. You might need a little bit of like lubricant of some sort because they are kind of a tight fit. With the cap on, we're going to install these little rubber seals. So grab this insert, put a washer on it, and put it right here in the factory hole. Okay, then grab the rail. Okay, then we're just going to tighten this down and make sure it's flush with the side. I'm going to grab these little foam squares. These are going to go up in this corner. If you can actually see where it's kind of open in here, they're going to go up in here just to add a little bit of additional sealing. The bulkhead mounted, now we're going to install this bulkhead seal. And I want to make sure if you're doing this on your own Ranger at home, the instructions are slightly different if you have a drop-in bed liner. So there is a different seal you use in some different pieces, so make sure you keep an eye on that. But this is going to go across the top, basically to seal this bulkhead. Okay, and then just cut this to fit. All right, now you want to grab the rails. They are side specific and they are labeled. You want the silver piece here to go towards the cab. This will sit on the edge, and the base what you're going to do is slide it over the bulkhead seal all the way up until it's touching the bulkhead, and then grab the clamps to install it. Okay, so we're over here on the passenger side real quick to show you how the shims work because you simply won't be able to see it with the rail in place. The way these shims are going to work, this is like a cork kind of material, but it's going to go between the bed and the actual cover. The reason for that is when you put the clamps on, they're going to squeeze, and it can actually squeeze the cover and crack it. So these will go again in this gap in here where the little brackets go. Make sure you don't crank down too hard and crack the bed cover. And what we're doing here is just basically figuring out the shims. There's plenty of them in the kit, so if you have to double up to make sure the gap is full and proper, go ahead and do so. Now when you install the clamps, once you have the shims proper, you want to go about 12 inches from the front of the bed with your first clamp. Now the second clamp we're basically going to center, so right in the middle of the bed about 35 inches, we can put that one right there. Then the next clamp, again, we'll split the difference. And once we tighten these up, you'll definitely want to have someone hold pressure on the outside of this, so if you haven't been able to tell by now, this is definitely a two-man job. All right, now when you actually tighten them down, make sure you're putting pressure here on the outside, kind of on the edge of the bed, so you get a good clamp on it. Okay. Yep. Now the rear clamp we want to put pretty close back to the tailgate. As you can see, this actually is sticking up a little bit. So we want to go, basically 12 inches will be the maximum distance you want to go, but you want to get fairly close in the, probably, where are we about 8 to 10 inches back? About 6 inches, so somewhere in that neighborhood. As close as you can get to get proper pull down on this part here. All right, make sure everything is tight. The torque spec they recommend is 10 foot-pounds, and repeat the process on the other side. Before we install, we wanted to show you the rails. We mentioned earlier they're exclusive rotational locking rail. This is how it works. Basically, when this gets pushed down to lock it, you see this entire rail come out, puts equal pressure across the entire cover, makes for a real tight seal. All right, BAK, when they actually package this product, does a perfect job of it because this is the back. So we can actually lift this up, put this on the back of the rail, and then roll it forward. Okay, grab this applied hardware. It's gonna go in this channel here, and then we fold it over. We'll go through these openings, and we'll tighten them down from the inside. Okay, we're gonna roll it over. Make sure the studs go down in. Adjust if necessary. Before you tighten those down, I'm going to close the bed and then check the fit and make sure this is coming back to the edge. Make sure it locks in place. Basically make sure it's right where you want it. That was perfect actually. Now we can roll it up and go install the hardware in the front. All right, so you're gonna put the rubber washer, then the metal, and then the nut. I'm holding it while he tightens everything down, but again, just snug them up for now. We'll roll the cover out again, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be before we finally tighten them down. All right, he tightened them. Now again, this is a one-person job, so I'm just gonna roll it out myself here. We're gonna double check it matches up with the slam latches like it's supposed to. Make sure that comes down square, just like it is there. It's gonna lock our K in the bed of the truck.
And yeah, that's our install. There we
go. Yeah, pretty much. Fitment spot on, now we can tighten them down. All right, so if you notice there's a latch here, there's actually brackets that go underneath, and there's a nylon strap that holds it to this if you wanna drive around with this open. What these do is they mount on the metal to make sure it doesn't touch the glass. So what you wanna do is kind of roll it up and see where it would possibly contact. So it gets that bottom rail, this one here. Sorry, we'll put these rubber bumpers in these channels here. What this will do is if for any reason it would actually bump the glass, it'll hit the rubber, not the aluminum. All right, now we're gonna install the last clamp that includes the nylon strap. You wanna mount this as far forward as you can, basically right up against this other clamp, and the strap will go up over and attach to the front of the cover. So once these are rolling, basically the way it works is you roll it back a little bit. Just connect the clip. And tighten it down. Now at this point our insulation is finished. You might notice there is some waviness to this rubber seal on the outside edge here. If you want to, you can use a heat gun, a hair dryer, whatever, it'll get rid of a lot of that. Honestly though, park it out in the sun for a day or two, this will all go away. As far as the cover goes, this is a great investment for your Ranger. It makes the bed completely usable for storage. And again, if you need to put something big in here, it's easy enough to roll up. The installation should take you about 2 hours or so, and you'll be back on the road in no time.